everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is InsideAgameR. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and today we are looking at the A330-300 by Project Megapack. We're going to do a little bit of a review. Now, I have just finished my first full flight on the live stream. If any of you want to catch that, you can go and find that on the channel. So what I thought I'd do, a lot of people asked me a lot of questions how I felt in the Discord and stuff, so I thought I'd put a little bit of a put together what I think of the aircraft, what my experience of the aircraft is, the kind of pros, the cons, because I feel like there's a lot of mixed energy about this aircraft. Now I will stress this is a freeware aircraft. A lot of people that I do read stuff from, especially in my own Discord, people keep comparing it to the A330NX. It is a completely different ball game. Now, Project Megapack, I think, have done a fantastic job of the modelling of this aircraft. The nose is looking very much like an A330. The wheels are looking pretty decent. The engines are looking nice. I think the modelling alone is actually looking really good on this aircraft. I think they've done a fantastic job of the modelling, and there's definitely no complaints from there for me. Now, when you do get up close, you do notice there are a few texture issues. It can be a little bit clunky in a few areas. But this is the first version. Like, this is going to get better. I'm sure they're going to keep on working, the Project Megapack team, on this, and they're going to continue to put fixes to improve this aircraft. And again, it's free. What more can we ask for in a flight sim community? Nothing really comes free on these kind of simulators much these days. So what we will look at first is inside the cockpit. Once we get inside, everybody does know this is modeled on the default A320, so a lot of the features and buttons and switches are inoperable. Okay, so a lot of these things aren't going to work. We come over here and look on this side. You can see that this is a bit of a change. This is for the window. I really don't like it personally, but it's there. The other thing is here, I've noticed in the joystick, if I pull back, it just goes one way. If I go forward, it goes one way. Even if I go side to side now, it just goes backwards and forwards. So that's not amazing, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine. They have retextured the cockpit. They've made a few changes, like this area has changed. A few of these knobs and buttons now have some coverings on them, which they would do. This is new, so they have put in their own throttle quadrant, which is nice. It does look like the A330s, and they've tried to model up here a little bit more to make this look like the A330s dash. Up above, this is the A320 default, I believe. I do believe the A330 looks a little bit different to this. If anything, that's gone by my experience on flight simulators with the A330. But this is fine. You know, the Airbus A319, 320, 321, A330, you know, they all resemble some similarities. They're not too far apart from each other. But again, because it's default, a lot of these switches, of course, like it is, are unoperable. So, you know, this does bug people. Bear in mind, it's a freeware aircraft. A lot of things can happen, a lot of things can change. Everyone's asking why can't they use the A32NX mod? Well, look, Fly-by-Wire and them did have to cut some sort of deal. Now, Fly-by-Wire is an open source project, so in theory, anyone can work on it. So, in theory, maybe they could have used it. I don't know what the story is. Maybe down the line, what they want to do is build their own flight models. Maybe they want to build their own custom stuff. So, who knows? I think, you know, it's early days. It's the first initial release. Think of this as early access, a beta. You know, it's out, it's there, we can play with it, we can see what it's all about, and we should enjoy this because, you know, it's really good to have another aircraft on the simulator. Now, coming down here, like I said, the textures of the throttle quadrant are looking really, really good. Like, this all moves, it looks fairly natural, looks a little bit off here, but, you know, we're not going to complain about these minor details. How often are you looking at this when you take off and landing? All the main switches kind of work. Everything that you want it to do to get it up and down in the air are working. Now, I have found a few little bugs during my flight, which I'm sure things will get improved on. Now, there are some known issues already. Mouse controllers, spoilers, and reversers do not work. You have to use keybinds or peripherals to control them. The rubber on the side stick is wrong. Black, it should be blue. No icing or wing flex yet. That's one thing I did miss from the live stream. Yeah, it did look very kind of flat flying. The no icing doesn't bother me because I think Microsoft Flight Sim over ices anyways. I have it turned off, so the icing does not bother me. In fact, to be honest with you, they can keep it off for what I care. I think it's not good. The rudder is very sensitive. When I came in for landing, I didn't find the rudder too sensitive at all. Actually, I thought it was okay, but maybe depends on your joystick, your settings. So a lot of factors can play into play with this. That's why some people might be getting upset. Some people might be on mouse and keyboard. Maybe it is a bit sensitive. For me, it wasn't that bad. Invalid MACD approach speed data. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to get back to the speed data because that was one of the things I did find was a little bit wrong. Roll quadrant zone bugs. These will be fixed in the next update. Cockpit windows slightly blurred the view. Now that was fixed on the very first patch. They have fixed the blur on the windows, and that is all well and good. So if we go and turn on the aircraft, so what I want to do, we're here in Dublin. I'm going to take off, do a go around badly, and land, just to kind of show you the physics and what I think as we're coming in. Again, most things are working that you need it to do. The one thing I do suggest with the MacDo, like this is the default MacDo. Now this is probably the one thing that kills me the most. Importing from SimBrief, I just prefer. But you know, I haven't used this and I'm not sure what works, what doesn't work. So what I did, I just used the flight planner from Microsoft Flight Simulator for my flights, okay? I don't use it usually. Usually I bring in my own from SimBrief and create my own. But I found it was the easiest thing to do, and at least I know it worked. And it did the flight perfect. It followed the SIDS and stars. Absolutely no issue at all. The performance actually picked up the speeds. It should be higher speeds through the weights, I suppose, that it did pick up. But yeah, the speed things here, these are not worth talking about really at the moment. But the ILS frequencies all work correctly. This is one of their new little things here. Pretty sure it's supposed to be see-through. It's a piece of plastic, I don't know. But yeah, other than that, it's all pretty good. So what my suggestion would be is that just use the flight plan on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now the other big thing with this is a lot of people saying it doesn't work. I had so many people in Discord saying, "Oh, my screens don't work, this don't work." It is not compatible if you have the A32NX mod installed on your game. Now that was that on day 1. After day 2, there is a patch fix for that in flightsim.to. If you go into there, you can find the fix for it. I'll try and get the link and I'll put it in the description down below. And if you install that, basically it will not be a problem. You do not have to delete the A32NX by fly-by-wire to have this running. Or you can delete it and just have it running. But yes, you can't have both at the same time at the moment. I'm sure down the road that will change. Okay, so all the buttons here, like I said, all working fine. They did everything that they were supposed to during the live stream. Absolutely no dramas, no issues there. All the lights buttons that worked. If you go on the outside, you will see all the lights. So what we're going to do, I'm going to throw on the APU. Now, the one thing with the default is the APU doesn't really show up on the screen. A lot of these are inoperable still. You know, not much we can do about them when they don't work. So this is one thing about having the default. But like I said, I generally believe that they're going to go off and try and do their own thing here. I think they're going to build in their own flight modeling. I don't know that might not be true. But just the way that they have it the way it is, I just think yes. Or Microsoft Flight Simulator may update their default, who knows. But hopefully that will improve. Like I said, that's probably the biggest downside to this aircraft, but it is free, guys. This is a free aircraft. You know, anyone that puts in their time and effort into stuff for us as a community, fair play to them. They deserve a pat on the back because it is absolutely great. Like I said, the modeling outside is good. A few little issues on the inside, but I'm sure they're going to get tidied up as we go along. Okay, so APU can go on. Like I said, I'm not going to configure myself properly here. We're just going to literally get it so it takes off, and that's basically what we want it to do. I'm not going to do it properly. Okay, we'll throw the beacon on. If we have a look on the outside, the wing lights are working. The lights under the wings here, they work fine for your taxi. Nice and bright, actually, really good. There are absolutely no issues with them. We can hear the APU. Now they do have some, they're not using the default sounds, they do have custom sounds in. They don't sound too bad. In the cockpit it does sound a bit like it's on a loop. It probably is. Yeah, it's okay. Again, as you can see here, you can see a bit of jankiness, you know, some of the texturing, it does need improving, but again, I'm sure that's going to come in time. Because, yeah, other than that, it's not a bad aircraft. It really is modeled really well. Okay guys, welcome to the runway. Now this is where I found a few more of my issues now. So on the ground and stuff, everything's fine, especially if you're used to the default A320. Now the main things I find is the speed now. So I don't have a flight plan imported, so it's not really, and I haven't put one in. So what we're going to do is take off, go around and land, just so we can see the kind of how it feels in the air very quickly. It won't be a very long flight. But like I said before, it did follow my SIDS and stars, absolutely no problem. The one problem I had was with the speed. Okay, so first of all, I found that I didn't hear the clicking. We might hear it now on this one. I didn't feel the clicking between the different things. I felt like we went up to full speed before I knew it. Normally you're listening for the clicks to go into your manual flex, as you always do a flex takeoff in these aircraft. This one will probably do a toga, which is takeoff, go around full speed. But I didn't hear it, and what happened as soon as I took off on the flight plan, it rocketed to about 330, and it was stressing the aircraft. I had to manually take over, drop the speed. It did re-engage. What I found is if you manage your speed, so if any of you don't know how to manage speed with the Mac do, so when you got your 3 dots, this generally means your flight plan's in place, everything's going to go the way you want it, vertical, lateral navigation, and your altitude. If you pick your own speed, obviously currently we're going 0, but say if we wanted to hold at 180, you'd make sure you go down below and put engage selected airspeed mode. So I had to do my whole flight doing the speeds myself, so I went up to about 310 as my cruise and climb. But one thing I did, like I said, I had to manually control the speed, and I had no issues with the speed. When it was engaged, I was finding issues, but again, I'm sure that these little kind of hiccups will be patched fairly quickly. Again, we don't have to do too much with that right now, we'll just leave it on the engage mode. Okay guys, let's take off. Let's listen to these engines spool over. Okay, so yes, there should be clicks. You can see that I'm moving this. It's very faint. It could do a bit better. So obviously that's toga. We'd want a man flex of 20. We're not flexing at 20. It's a long runway actually. We can. It's no drama. She takes off like the A320 does. Very, very similar. The engines sound decent. She holds the runway quite nicely. She's not trying to take off. She's not doing anything that she shouldn't do. We'll rotate about 160 in the A330. Bigger bird. Obviously you'd have your flaps set. And then you bring up the nose and up she goes. And you know what? She's a dream. You know, at this point, you know, positive climb, gear up. We can watch the mechanics here of the gears. Now it doesn't sound so good outside, but if you have a look, you know, it's all modelled quite nicely. It's looking good. A little bit of time this aircraft needs, guys. That's all it needs. It needs a chance and a bit of love, and it'd be a great aircraft to have. Okay, so we're just going to go up to about 5,000 feet before I start thinking about doing my go-around. And what I want to do, I'm just going to make some turns with the joystick and see what she feels like. Now, she is a bigger aircraft. Realistically, I should be able to feel like it should take a bit of time to get a reaction. Now, that might feel a bit different for some of you guys. But you've got to remember, this is now a bigger aircraft. So we're now going to turn to the left. And she's turning nice and smoothly. I don't see any dramas or issues. She is turning great. Now, like I said, there's a bit of time delay on the joystick. It's not my sensitivity. It is a bigger aircraft. So, you know, it's going to take a little bit more time for you to get her to roll over. Okay, she does pitch quite high. So a few negatives is the speed. But, you know, we can deal with that ourselves. I've got no problem with that. And when you do come into land, like the default A320, it does pitch quite high. Now that can be a problem for some, not really a problem for me. But look, everything moves, the engines are moving, which is what we want. Sounds are there. Not a bad little plane, guys, not a bad little plane. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to throw our gear back down, and I'm going to try and put it back on the same runway. This might work, it might not work. Because we're going to manually control our speed. I've not really done a landing like this before. So this is just a quick kind of first look, my thoughts and opinions. Overall, I really enjoyed this aircraft on the stream. I thought it was okay. It gave me a few surprises, but to be honest with you, I like that. I don't like things to always just be easy. People who watch my streams know that generally there's some sort of chaos somewhere down the line because I forgot to put landing gear down or something silly. You know, I do a lot of that kind of stuff. Little glance where the airport actually is. Okay guys, so we're coming into landing. I am manually doing everything. I don't have any anything for my speeds or anything like that. Be a little bit interesting. There you go, runway is in sight. So manually flying, it's been absolutely fine. A little high here probably, so my speed's not going to be correct for this landing. This is not a real landing. I just want to kind of show you guys like the modeling, and the flight is actually okay. We're going to try and line up as best we can. No ILSs or nothing like that. It's just a manual in.
200. 100.
Okay. Long runway, so we
50.
cut engines.
30. 20. Retard.
There you go. Back wheels are down. And there you go. Reverse is out. So just to show you guys, you know, engines, reverses work, the spoilers are work, flaps are all working. That's a nice little landing, that. And considering my situation, get a couple of screenshots there. There we go. And then we can then take over manually braking and but yeah, that's not like a perfect flight by any means. Like I said, I did do a full live stream flight. We will fly this a bit more. I just kind of wanted to give you a first look and impression of what my thoughts and opinions are. And I'm literally going to leave it here. Handbrake on. Yeah, look, I am very happy. It landed well. It works well. Reverses are working. Lights working. All the bits and pieces are working. All the lights are working like they should be. As you can see there. Down on the back here as well. It's all well and good. Like I said, I'm really excited for the future of the A330. In my opinion, I think that, you know, there's a lot more to come with this, and if this is the start, I think we're going to get something really good. Yes, there are issues, but bear in mind it's freeware. It's very early out. You know, like I said, treat it as an early access, a beta. It can only get better from here, guys. And I'd like to thank everyone, myself personally, at the Project Megapack team who have put this together for us. You know, like I said, anyone that does anything for the community for free, puts in all their hard time and effort, and gives it out to us. Fair play to them, all good guys in my opinion. So yeah, guys, hopefully you guys will download this. If you need a link, the link to the Megapack Discord is in the description down below, guys. Check them out. Come join my Discord if you haven't done so already. I have a virtual airlines if any of you want to come fly with us at simplyconnect.va.com. And yeah, my thoughts and opinions are, yes, there are a few little niggles, but it's very much flyable. Definitely worth picking up and adding to your little collection that we have currently. If you are enjoying this content, guys, please make sure you subscribe down below to the channel, hit the bell icon for notifications, hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.